Oh, we sailed away at the break of day to pull traps in oilskin trousers on the Susie Jack, but tonight we're back with 1,000 pounds of lobster. Oh, shanty town, we're gonna tear you down. I got money coming out of me stockings. Tonight I'm gonna do the bushwhack Sue and take her to the gumboot Cloggeroo, and we'll do a little gumboot clogging. We'll do a little gumboot clogging. Oh, well, there's fish and brews and a quahog stew and a bowl of clam chowder. Just see me reach for that newfie screech when they diddle up the fiddle jig louder. Hear the French girls sing and the guitars ring and the squeeze box squeakity squawking. Oh, me and my Sue gonna whoop-de-doo, and I'll take her to the gumboot Cloggeroo, and we'll do a little gumboot clogging. We'll do a little gumboot clogging. Oh, well, there's Boots Bernard and the Rock Richards and the girls from way down Tracadie. How many blue noses and heron chokers, we just don't know exactly. Pack them all in tight and we'll dance all night, get the old barn floor just a rockin'. Oh, I ring-dang-do for P.I. Sue and take her to the gumboot Cloggeroo, and we'll do a little gumboot clogging. We'll do a little gumboot clogging. Everybody got their gumboots on? Oh, we sailed away at the break of day to pull traps in oilskin trousers on the Susie Jack, but tonight we're back with 1,000 pounds of lobster. Oh, Shantytown, we're gonna tear you down. We got money coming out of me stockings. Tonight I'm to do the bushwhack Sue and take her to the gumboot Cloggeroo, and we'll do a little gumboot clogging. We'll do a little gumboot clogging. How there'll be fish and brew and a quahog stew and a bowl of clam chowder. Just see me reach for that newfie screech when they diddle up the fiddle jig louder. Hear the French girls sing and the guitars ring and the squeeze box squeakity squawking. Oh, me and my Sue, we're gonna whoop-dee-doo, and I take her to the gumboot Cloggeroo, and we'll do a little gumboot clogging. We'll do a little gumboot clogging. I'll take her to the gumboot Cloggeroo, and we'll do a little gumboot clogging. We'll do a little gumboot clogging. We'll do a little gumboot clogging. How we're doing a little gumboot clogging tonight on Tuesday Live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Live, episode 108, the Stompin' Tom Cloggeroo. If you're new to the show, welcome. Check out the show website at tuesdaylive.ca. And if you're old to the show, you've been around here for a while, hit that little share button if you're on Facebook and share it with folks in your timeline. And let's get some new folks in here. Always good to have a good crowd in here on a Tuesday night, isn't it? We've been doing this for a while and having a great time doing it. I see we've got Scully Belly here. I'm not sure. I think that might be another Kathy in Fenland Falls that I know of. We do have one Kathy from Fenland Falls. And also Kathy from Elmira. Kathy and Steve I know watching from Elmira. Kathy and Dwight up in Fenland Falls. Ronnie up in Kapuskasing. Good to see you tonight, Ron. And I see Danny up on the Bruce. And today's the 26th. Today is the 26th, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's the 26th. Anyways, if you have a birthday or other celebration you'd like to share, send it in, and I or any of the other cast members would be happy to mention it, or video yourself, and we'll put it up on the wall. In fact, we're looking forward tonight. We have our very first viewer-submitted video for the wall, at least in terms of a joke. So you can help me improve the quality of comedy contained on the Tuesday Live wall by sending in your favorite jokes, puns, or funny stories. We'd love to hear from you. I know some folks out there feed me funny stories on a regular basis, and I pop them up on the wall. And if you'd like to send me something, please do. Always looking for new content, rather than the stuff I come up with or steal off the internet somewhere. There's lots of great jokes out there. On tonight's show, we celebrate the music of iconic Canadian singer-songwriter Stompin' Tom Connors. Born in St. John, New Brunswick in 1936, Stompin' Tom, or Tom Connors as he was known then, grew up in poverty until he was adopted by a couple in Skinner's Pond, PEI. And I think his mother was in prison, actually, in jail, and he was taken away from his mother and put up for adoption. He ran away from his adopted home when he was only 13, and then spent the next 13 years of his life hitchhiking across Canada, taking part-time jobs when he could, and learning to play a guitar he bought when he was 14. At his last stop on his 13-year hitchhiking trip across the country, in Timmins, Ontario, he was at the old Maple Leaf Hotel. And I haven't been in Timmins, but I'm sure some of our friends up north can let us know whether the Maple Leaf is still there. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. And but anyways, he was at the old Maple Leaf Hotel in Timmins, and he was down to his last 30 cents, and beer was 35 cents, so he was short a nickel. And the bartender offered him free beer if he opened up his guitar case and played a song. That led to a 14-month gig at the Maple Leaf and launched Stompin' Tom's career. He had a style that was all his own and radically different from other Canadian songwriters like Gordon Lightfoot and Leonard Cohen. And as one writer characterized him, he sang of a nation without politics, to its proud history and to its better angels. His songs remind us that Canada matters, that we've built something amazing here and must not take it for granted. He spent his career touring across the country, playing small venues and singing of the country he loved. He got his Stompin' nickname as a result of, in 1967, when he was introduced to Stompin' Tom Connors, because he always used to pound his heel on the stage, and I guess he was damaging some stages, so he used to carry a piece of plywood with him to protect the stage. I've got my piece of plywood on the floor here tonight, and I got my boots on so I can get a little stomping going at a time. I'm no Stompin' Tom, Stompin' Rob Witherspoon, but I'll give it a shot. But he kept a powerful rhythm with the heel of his black cowboy boot, and certainly played a lot of rowdy bars and things. I mean, Stompin' Tom didn't shy away from playing some of the tougher joints in his days, that's for sure. And he probably needed that boot to keep the rhythm going. When he was asked about his stomping board, Tom said it was just a stage he was going through. Tom and his wife Lena were wed live on national television on the CBC program Elwood Glover's Luncheon Date. I don't know if you remember watching that. I never really watched it too much, but I guess it was a thing. He was a man of strong opinions, and he felt that the Juno Awards should be for artists living in Canada only, and he returned his 6 Junos in protest. Stompin' Tom died in 2013, and the Globe and Mail wrote at that time, "These days, Canada isn't scared to be a little loud and proud. Politicians push patriotic buttons and endlessly recite their devotion to hard-working Canadians. Advertisers shamelessly and successfully plug our country and its natural beauty and play up Canadians' adventuresome and ribald sides. But Stompin' Tom was doing that a long time ago." Tonight on the show, we have all Stompin' Tom tunes with an appearance by one of our Tuesday Live favorites, Waxy. Stan McRae is here with more images to remind us of the country that Stompin' Tom was so proud of. And we have the Rec Room renowned Tuesday Live cast to do their interpretation of Stompin' Tom songs. So let's get to Cousin Willie Witherspoon over in the Beatles tribute room to kick off, or should I say stomp things off. Willie.
Willie, have you ever been to Tillsonburg?
Well, Aunt Erna, I'm having a bit of a deja vu here. I feel like you've asked me this question before, and the answer's still the same. Tillsonburg, my back still aches when I hear that word. Well, way down in southern Ontario, I never had a nickel or a dime to show. Fella beat up in an automobile, he said, "You wanna work in the tobacco fields of Tillsonburg, Tillsonburg, Tillsonburg." My back still aches when I hear that word. You folks on the chorus, you answer my Tillsonburg, will you? He said, "I only give you $7 a day, and if you're any good, you get a raise in pay. Your bed's already on the bunkhouse floor. If it gets a little chilly, you can close the door." Tillsonburg, Tillsonburg, my back still aches when I hear that word. I was feeling in the morning anything but fine. The farmer said, "I'm gonna teach you how to prime." Said, "You gotta don a pair of oilskin pants if you wanna work in the tobacco plants of Tillsonburg, Tillsonburg. My back still aches when I hear that word." Well, we landed in a field that was long and wide, with one old horse and 5 more guys. I asked him where to find the cigarette trees. When he said bend over, I was ready to leave. Tillsonburg, Tillsonburg. My back still aches when I hear that word. He said to pick just the bottom leaves and don't start a-crawling on your hands and knees. Prime your roll, 'cause you get no pay for standing there picking at your nose all day. Tillsonburg, Tillsonburg. My back still aches when I hear that word. With a broken back bending over there, I was wet right through to the underwear. It was stuck to my skin like glue from the nicotine tar in the morning dew of Tillsonburg, Tillsonburg. My back still aches when I hear that word. Gotta get the stomping going, don't you? The nearest river was 2 miles from the place they were waiting for the boat to come. When I heard some talk about making the kill, it was down the highway and over the hill from Tillsonburg. Tillsonburg. My back still aches when I hear that word. Well, there's one thing that you can always bet: if I never smoke another cigarette, I might get taken in a lot of deals, but I won't go work in the tobacco fields of Tillsonburg. The Tillsonburg. My back still aches when I hear that word. My back still aches when I hear that word. My back still aches when I hear that word. Hey, look, I'm back in the shed.
Hey Neil, you're not gonna believe it, but my neighbor came over to my place last night and started banging on my door at 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning?
Why?
Yes, it was a good thing that I was already up practicing on me bagpipes.
I was a young fella. My grandpapa sent me to the hardware store to fetch him a tin of red and white striped paint. When I got there, the paint fella sent me back to ask Grandpa if he wanted horizontal or vertical. Well, thank you, Willie, for that rendition of Tillsonburg. And that was my mom there asking Willie whether he's been to Tillsonburg. I think she asked him that question before, and I think he had the same answer, as he pointed out. But great to see everybody here tonight. I see Ron said that Stompin' Tom slept in his house, but it was 20 years before he bought it. Ron's always quick with a quip up there in Kapuskasing. And Stompin' Tom is a close friend of the Enns family in Port Elgin. I've never met the Enns family, but they sound like they might be Mennonite of origin. Lots of Enns in the Mennonite community. Anyways, yeah, Stompin' Tom, quite a character, traveled across the country. If you have any Stompin' Tom Connors stories, let us know. We'd love to hear it. I don't have any other than my only close encounter was Stompin' Tom, and it was a distant encounter, was our good friend Sandy McKay, who's taking a bit of a break from the show. But Sandy McKay, he actually had a chance to go tour with the Stompin' Tom back in the day. Sandy would have been a pretty young guy playing bass with Stompin' Tom, but he found out that Stompin' Tom always had a rule when he was touring with the band that Stompin' Tom couldn't be the last one to go to bed, and usually the rookie in the band had to stay up with Stompin' Tom to, as he was chain smoking cigarettes and drinking beers after the show. And Sandy wasn't sure his liver was quite up to that challenge, so he didn't do it. But that would have been something to play with Stompin' Tom, that's for sure. And he certainly got around the countryside. But anyways, let's send it down to Eastern Ontario and get our good friend Stan McRae to show us some of his fantastic nature pics. Yeah, I don't think he's got anything in Stompin' Tom this week, but he's got some other characters, that's for sure. Thanks for those pictures, Stan. Always amazing. I mean, that fox, just the color of that fox was amazing. Fantastic sunset. Great looking shepherd there. Really appreciate it. Stan takes the time to go and take the pictures and then takes the time to put them together and share them with us every week. Really appreciate that, Stan. Gives us a real appreciation of the wildlife that's out there. Speaking of wildlife, here's a Wild Alberta Rose song. One of my favorite Stompin' Tom songs, actually. About another entertainer. Where the wild roses grow in Alberta, on the banks of the Gooseberry Lake, there's a rose I suppose that you've heard of. She's as mild as a wild Irish wake. Like a thorn she was born to be contrary. Like a boy it was her joy raising Cain. The wildest rose that ever drove on the prairie, behind the wheel of a big truckload of grain. Little K, little D, little L, A, and G. Her name was just plain Katie Lang. But her main claim to fame was how she sang with a twang and jumped around like a orangutan. Lady Katie Lang, Katie Lang, Katie Lang. She jumped around like a orangutan, Lady Katie Lang. From her home down in Consort, Alberta, near the tracks of that old railroad line, with her hair she could scare old Medusa. Well, she sang like a young Patsy Cline. It wasn't long till her song got her landed on the stage with those outrageous clothes. There were skirts over shirts, boots and trousers, hanging down from this wild Irish rose. Little K, little D, little L, A, and G. Her name was just plain Katie Lang. But her main claim to fame was how she sang with a twang and jumped around like a orangutan. Lady Katie Lang, Katie Lang, Katie Lang. She jumped around like a orangutan, Lady Katie Lang. Hey, Ann. Well, she toured north and south of the border and recorded with many famous names. Though her style, it was wild and outrageous, her star just kept rising to fame. With a voice that was new and exciting, she was called to those Juno Awards. She made the leap on the stage and she got one. Took it home to Alberta by George. Little K, little D, little L, A, and G. Her name was just plain Katie Lang. And her main claim to fame was how she sang with a twang and jumped around like a orangutan. Lady Katie Lang, Katie Lang, Katie Lang. She jumped around like a orangutan, Lady Katie Lang. It's a great song. Let's turn it over to the Beatles tribute room to Rob Dylan. I'm not sure he's American, I think. I'm not sure he'll know much about Stompin' Tom or not. How does it feel? Hello, everybody. It's Rob Dylan here. Good to see you again on a Tuesday night here on Tuesday Live. We're doing the songs of Stompin' Tom Connors. And I have to tell you, didn't really know much about Stompin' Tom. You know, not very popular down in the U.S. and didn't tour much down there. Very much a Canadian fella. Like to stay in Canada, and certainly all the songs about Canada. Bunch of great songs there. And I went looking at his songs and I thought, well, quite a songwriter. He certainly, he's
kind of like Bob Dylan, and like my brother Bob, except he wasn't quite as cryptic. He just kind of wrote it. Stompin' Tom just kind of wrote it like it was, or like it is, I guess. And I really like that. Kind of straightforward, straight shooting songwriting. Can't go wrong with that. And I was looking at his songs. I thought, boy, there's a lot of good songs there. And I looked at one I wanted to do, and I thought, well, geez, I've never done a song about bingo before. And the boys getting stinko, and, well, not thinking about Inko on a Saturday night in Sudbury. So I thought I'd give this one a Sudbury Saturday Night. It's a good tune. Hope you sing along. Oh, the girls are out to bingo and the boys are getting stinko. We'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night. The glasses they will tinkle when our eyes begin to twinkle. We'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night. With Irish Jim O'Connell there and Scotty Jack MacDonald, there's hunky Frederick Herschel getting tight, but that's alright. There's happy German Fritzy there with Frenchie getting tipsy, and even Joe the Gypsy knows it's Saturday tonight. Now when Marianne and Mabel come to join us at the table and tell us how the bingo went tonight, we'll look a fright. But if they won the money, we'll be lapping up the honey boys, 'cause everything is funny for Saturday tonight. Are out to bingo and the boys are getting stinko. We'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night. The glasses they will tinkle when our eyes begin to twinkle, and we'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night. Drink the loot we borrowed and recuperate tomorrow, 'cause everything is wonderful tonight. We had a good fight. We ate the dilly pickle and we forgot about the nickel, and everybody's tickled for it's Saturday tonight. The songs that we'll be singing, they might be wrong, but they'll be ringing when the lights of town are shining bright and we're all tight. We'll get to work on Monday, but tomorrow's only Sunday. We're out to have a fun day, for it's Saturday tonight. Yeah. Oh, the girls are out to bingo and the boys are getting stinko. We'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night. The glasses they will tinkle when our eyes begin to twinkle, and we'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night. Here's some more harmonica. To bingo and the boys are getting stinko. We'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night. The glasses they will tinkle when our eyes begin to twinkle. We'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night. Oh yes, we'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night.
Neil, I was once offered a job where I would get paid in vegetables.
Vegetables?
Yeah, but I turned it down because the celery was unacceptable.
What's a pirate's favorite letter?
What?
R.
Oh, you think it's R, but his first true love is the sea.
Well, thanks to Rob Dylan for that classic Stompin' Tom song, Sudbury Saturday Night. That's certainly up in his top hits. And also like to thank Amanda and Matt for our very first audience-submitted joke, in terms of video joke anyways. Amanda is the niece of one of our regular audience members, Jim and Lynn, out on Vancouver Island. I'm not sure if Lynn's watching tonight. I think she still has her djembe drumming class on Tuesdays. And here on Tuesday Live, we're still waiting for a djembe tune, so get working on that, Lynn. Next, we have a vintage Tuesday Live cut from a previous Canada Day show, which featured audience-submitted images of Canada over top of Stompin' Tom tune Canada Day, Up Canada Way. When I watched it, I realized that it contained a couple spectacular aerial images of Niagara Falls, provided by our longtime Tuesday Live viewer, John Bacon, who tragically perished in a small aircraft accident a few weeks back. And John was a great guy. I knew him, and I'd like to dedicate this to his memory, or he's flying up there. This is for you, John. It's Canada Day, up Canada Way on the first day of July. And we're shouting hooray up Canada Way when the maple leaf flies high, where the silver jets from east to west are streaming through our skies. We'll be shouting hooray up Canada Way when the great parade goes by. Oh, Canada, standing tall together, we raise our hands and hail our flag, the maple leaf forever. Canada, standing tall together, raise our hands and hail our flag, the maple leaf forever. It's Canada Day, up Canada Way on the coast of Labrador, and we're shouting hooray up Canada Way on the white Pacific shore. People everywhere have a song to share on Canada's holiday, from Peely Island in the sunny south to the North Pole far away. Oh, Canada, standing tall together, raise our hands and hail our flag, the maple leaf forever. Oh, Canada, standing tall together, raise our hands and hail our flag, the maple leaf forever. It's Canada Day, up Canada Way on the long cold winter's done, and we're shouting hooray up Canada Way for the great days yet to come, where maple trees grow maple leaves when the northern sun is high. We're Canadians and we're born again on the first day of July. Oh, Canada, standing tall together, we raise our hands and hail our flag, the maple leaf forever. It's Canada Day, up Canada Way from the lakes to the prairies wide, and we're shouting hooray up Canada Way on the St. Lawrence River side. People everywhere have a song to share on Canada's holiday, from Peely Island in the sunny south to the North Pole far away. Oh, Canada, standing tall together, we raise our hands and hail our flag, the maple leaf forever. Oh, Canada, standing tall together, we raise our hands and hail our flag, the maple leaf forever. Oh, Canada, standing tall together, we raise our hands and hail our flag, the maple leaf forever. Raise our hands and hail our flag, the maple leaf forever. Well, thank you to everybody who submitted pictures for that back. I think it was last summer we did that song and that photo collage. I'd like to see hello to everybody's checking in there. Ann, I see's checked in. I'm not familiar with that fiddle tune about Stompin' Tom, but we can maybe look that up some point in time. Lou checking in. Good to see you tonight, Lou. And I see Corey checking in from Carlisle. Good to see you tonight, Corey. And I always forget about all the folks over watching on YouTube who are not not commenting. They're just watching it on their big YouTube screen, having a great time, I'm sure. Hope it looks as good to you as it does on the little screen here. And I know we got Peter down in Tennessee. I'm not sure if Peter's watching tonight. And Pat, Ricky, Bobby, and Smoking Hot down in South North Carolina. And Nelson and Sandra down in Cardinal. Good to see you, Nelson. I hope you're watching tonight or watching at a later date. Hope you're doing well. And who else is out there on? Oh, Jim and Lynn. I can't forget about Jim and Lynn out on Vancouver Island. And maybe Bob might be watching too. I know my mom's out there watching as well. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. See you. Check my mom. You can meet my mom later on the after party. Don't forget about that. And anyways, oh, and Sherry's here too. Nice to see you, Sherry. We already played Tillsonburg, Sherry. You have to go back in the show. Willie played it right off the top. But go back and watch the start of the show. You'll catch Tillsonburg. But we're going to move a little bit, I guess a little bit farther west and to a place down in southwestern Ontario. Has a little bit of connection to my family. My mom first moved there, well, shortly after they emigrated from the Ukraine. My grandparents escaped the Ukraine during the Russian Revolution, another time when Russia caused some chaos in the Ukraine, and ended up originally out near Winnipeg, and then eventually got to Leamington, Ontario, where my grandfather was kind of a farm manager of a fruit orchard there for his career. And this is a song about Leamington, and I've made a little bit of a change to the lyrics here. I'm sure Stompin' Tom would approve if he were still around. But there was a guy from PEI they used to call Potato. He met this young Leamington, Ontario tomato. But he had eyes for other girls, and she was a little mushy. So they said, well, let's get where there's no sense in being fussy. Big size French fries, how they love tomatoes. So dress them up with French's ketchup. Ketchup loves potatoes. The ketchup loves potatoes. I think Stompin' Tom be okay changing French's for that other H word. Who left Leamington? Well, he went down to Windsor town to buy a ring on Monday. Saturday they said, okay, we'll cut the cake on Sunday. Sunday came, what a shame, they had no one to fetch it. Without a cake, they just sat and ate potato chips and ketchup. Big size French fries, how they love tomatoes. So dress them up with French's ketchup. Ketchup loves potatoes. Ketchup loves potatoes. So this guy from PEI they used to call Potato, he's got 2 boys and a little girl, 2 spuds and 1 tomato. They romp and run around Leamington, and boy, when they get hungry, the bottle drips all over the chips way down in ketchup country. Big size French fries, how they love tomatoes. So dress them up with French's ketchup. Ketchup loves potatoes. The ketchup loves potatoes. The ketchup loves potatoes. It's a little, the Ketchup Song, I guess that's called. And for those who don't know the history behind that, it used to be a big Heinz plant in Leamington. And a few years ago, they decided to pull up stakes and leave town. And French's filled in the gap and helped the farmers who grow tomatoes there still keep farming and growing tomatoes, among other things that grow down that area. But let's send it all the way over to another farming fellow over in Dublin, Ontario, that Irish fella, Robbie O'Spoon.
everybody out there in internet lands. Robbie O'Spoon here in Dublin, Ontario's having a grand old time, Swill on the pigs and get ready to plant me potatoes. It's coming pretty soon. Potato planting season. And, well, Stompin' Tom Connor's songs. If you live on the countryside in rural Ontario, you've heard Stompin' Tom Connor's songs. Let me tell you, I've heard many of them before, and I like them. They're real good songs, a lot of good songs about farming and fishing and lots of things. But as you expect, the song I might do is the one he wrote about potatoes, because he wrote about those good potatoes you get from PEI and that fella that hauls them down the highway, that Bud the Spud fella. So I'm going to sing that song, so I hope you'll sing it along with me if you'll sing that sort of thing, will you?
It's Bud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down the highway smiling. And the spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig, 'cause they're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. And not from Charlottetown or from Summerside. They'll load him down for the big long ride. He jumps in the cab and he's off with the price of bagels. Got to catch that boat to make fun in time. He heads up the old New Brunswick line. To Montreal he comes just a-flying with another big load of potatoes. It's Bud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down the highway smiling. The spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig. They're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. Now the Ontario Provincial Police don't think much of Bud. Oh, no, they don't. Yeah, the cops have been a-looking for that son of a gun that's been ripping the tar off the 401. They know the name of the truck shines in the sun. Green Gables. And he hits Toronto at 7 o'clock and backs her up against the terminal dock. The boys rather round just to hear him talk with another big load of potatoes. It's Bud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down the highway smiling. And the spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig. They're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. And now I know a lot of people from east to west that like the spuds from the island best, because they stand up to the hardest test. Yeah, right on the table. So when you see that big truck come a-rolling by, just a wave your hand and kind of wink your eye. Says Bud the Spud from old PEI with another big load of potatoes. It's Bud the Spud from the bright red mud, rolling down the highway smiling. And the spuds are big on the back of Bud's rig. They're from Prince Edward Island. They're from Prince Edward Island. And they're from Prince Edward Island. Bud the Spud.
Hey Neil, I used to think I was ugly, and then I went out and bought myself an acoustic guitar.
Did it help?
Well, not really. Now I'm ugly and annoying.
Well, this fellow was a transport truck driver, and he was hauling a big load of rabbits down the 401. Well, that's right, a truck full of rabbits. Well, the back door of the trailer pops open, and there's all these rabbits hopping here, hopping there, and hopping everywhere all across the fields. Well, after a while, an OPP comes along in his cruiser and says to the fella, "Hey, buddy, what you doing with a big smile on your face? Well, them rabbits are hopping and bouncing all over the place across the fields." Well, the fella says, "Well, I tell ya, them rabbits are jumping here and they're jumping there. They don't know where they're going, but I got the address right here in me pocket."
Well, thank you so much for that, Robbie. The music and the joke. I figured he'd probably want to do Bud the Spud. Great potato song, one of the greatest potato songs ever written. Chris, thanks for all the background information Chris provides. I think we're into the problem with the PEI potatoes, with the export problem they've had right now. But should be lots of potatoes around to eat, anyways. Folks, eat up your potatoes. They're good for you. And I saw Peter checking in as well. Good to see you, Peter. Thanks for dropping in tonight. Invite your friends, come visit, watch the show. It's always fun. We have a great time here on Tuesday Live every Tuesday. We've been doing this for a while now, and I'm still having fun anyways. I hope you are. If you have any suggestions for songs or anything, let me know. But here's another Stompin' Tom song about one of our favorite modes of transportation up here in Canada. Oh, it's winter time and the weather's fine, with snow in the woods and field when I reveal my snowmobile. Oh, thrill by gully and hill, baby, it'll make you feel like an outdoor meal on a snowmobile. Oh, listen to the sound of the belts go around when the winter carnival's here. Know what fun at the crack of the gun when the whole gang disappears. Oh, the race is on from the bush to pond and back where the judges feel you've won their seal. For the snowmobile, you've won their seal. For the snowmobile. Where skiers ski and skaters be and snowshoes lend appeal like a bogey wheel on a snowmobile. We tip the glass to the northern lass, where she won't let you kneel, she'd rather squeal on a snowmobile. You're off to town when the word goes round, it's winter carnival time. Google's boots and snowproof suit, your sweetheart's on your mind. Well, you win the race and you see her face and you know that she must feel you've got a real good snowmobile. You've got a real good snowmobile. Now down the street you can hear the beat and the clicking of a dancer's heel when the fiddlers peel off a ragtime reel. You dance and tear with an I don't care, and away back home you wheel over hill and field on a snowmobile. Through golden glow on a powdered snow when the moon comes rolling along. On the homeward trail you can hear the wail of the whole gang singing a song. If tomorrow's gear with fishing gear, we'll head for a lake trout meal with a rod and reel on a snowmobile. Life can be real with a snowmobile. There ain't no deal like a snowmobile. The snowmobile song. Stompin' Tom just wrote some straightforward songs about the things that we love in Canada, didn't he? And let's see what the Neil Old, perhaps the greatest Neil Young tribute artist of our generation, has in the way of Stompin' Tom Connor's song.
Well, hello everybody, it's Neil Old here, good to see ya. No Lazy Horse this week, taking an extra week off after Easter break there, I guess, but it's okay. I got a song here. I've been thinking about Stompin' Tom Connors, one of the great Canadian songwriters of all time, and certainly I'm sure he must have inspired Neil Young at some point in his career. I'm not sure if they've ever actually even played together on the same bill or anything, but I'm sure that Neil would have liked Stompin' Tom a lot because he sort of told it like it is. And I was trying to think of a good song to do, and well, I got this one. It's called A Real Canadian Girl. It's one Stompin' Tom. You may not have heard it before, but it's one of my favorite Stompin' Tom songs, and might need a little bit of help here, so I'm gonna kick her off here. Let's give her a go, shall we? She loves the way it feels, driving snowmobiles and laughing at her dates when they don't know how to skate. She knows her hockey games and the players of the world. She's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl.
Well, she's from the Miramichi by the old Atlantic Sea. But like the rolling tides, she travels far and wide. So fond of the great outdoors, with a glowing heart a twirl. She's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl.
She's a real Canadian girl, a real
real Canadian girl. She's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl.
The Yukon nights and dance to the northern lights, and then she's off to ski in the mountains of BC. In the summer she'll play ball, in the winter time she'll curl. She's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl.
From the river of St. John to the old Saskatchewan, up along the Caribou, she'll paddle her canoe. She loves the bears and birds and every little squirrel. She's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl. She's a real Canadian girl, a real Canadian girl. She's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl. See her play, she'll take your breath away, bathing in the sun or swimming just for fun. And if some lucky guy should land this precious pearl, she's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl.
She loves the way it feels, driving snowmobiles and laughing at her dates when they don't know how to skate. She knows her hockey games and the players of the world. She's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl. She's a real Canadian girl, a real Canadian girl. She's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl. She's a real Canadian girl, a real Canadian girl. She's an all-Acadian northern lady and a real Canadian girl. Hey Willie, did you know that beavers are great dam builders and Canada's national animal?
I did not know that, Robbie.
I guess that's why Canada's the best dam country in the world. Well, there's a patron in a Montreal restaurant turned on a tap in the washroom and got scalded.
Ouch!
This is an outrage, he complained. The faucet marked C gave me boiling water.
Huh?
But monsieur, C stands for chaude, French for hot. You should know that if you live in Montreal. Wait a minute, said the patron. The other tap is also marked C.
Huh?
Of course, said the manager. It stands for cold. After all, Montreal is a bilingual city.
Well, thanks for that, Neil, organizing that little collaborative tune we did there. That was fun to play with all the boys, all the crew, the cast of Tuesday Live. I've got another song here. Surprise, surprise, it's a Stompin' Tom song. And this is one I didn't know. I was looking through some of Stompin' Tom's repertoire and I came across this one. It's kind of a little bit more of maybe a little darker song about a fella coming from the east to Toronto to seek his fortune and ended up not where he wanted to end up. It's called the Don Valley Jail. I left my love to seek my fortune, though she told me not to go. Said goodbye to Nova Scotia, travel to Ontario, travel to Ontario. There I chose the wrong companions and we tried to rob the mail. Now I'm in Toronto City in the old Don Valley Jail. I'm in the old Don Valley Jail. Little darling, do a favor for me, don't tell my mom and dad. It would break the heart there, know their only son has turned out bad. And if you should see my sisters, please don't tell them I'm in jail. Still love you, little darling, I'll be waiting for your mail.
I'll be waiting for your mail. Here among my few belongings I have pictures of the sea, but the picture that I cherish is the one of you and me. It's that one of you and me. I'll be trying for probation, there's a man who comes around. Keep your fingers crossed and pray that I'll be Nova Scotia bound. I'll be Nova Scotia bound. Little darling, do a favor for me, don't tell Mom and Dad. It would break their hearts to know their only son has turned out bad. And if you should see my sisters, please don't tell them I'm in jail. I still love you, little darling, I'll be waiting for your mail. I'll be waiting for your mail. As I write, I think of someone who once said it always seems when they take away your freedom, then you'll know what freedom means. Yes, I know what freedom means. Now I hope you get my letter in the Nova Scotia mail. Don't forget me in Toronto in the old Don Valley jail. I'm in the old Don Valley jail. Little darling, do a favor for me, don't tell Mom and Dad. It would break their hearts to know their only son has turned out bad. And if you should see my sisters, please don't tell them I'm in jail. Still love you, little darling, I'll be waiting for your mail. I'll be waiting for your mail. In the old Don Valley jail, I'm in the old Don Valley jail. Such a great song. Very simple, but like all Stompin' Tom songers, Tom Connor songs, it has a very heartfelt. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Ron, for your kind comments. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. We've got our feature performer coming up next, the great Waxy, who you've seen him on the show before. He's one of our favorites, and he did a Stompin' Tom and Connor song a little while back, and you can check out all of Waxy's music on his YouTube channel, Waxy Shack. I certainly recommend you go there, subscribe, check it out. It's got a lot of fantastic tunes there. Some of you've seen on the show, and maybe some you haven't. And this is one that has never been on the show, and it's a Stompin' Tom song by Waxy.
Hello, folks. My name's Waxy, and welcome to the Shack. Stompin' Tom, Rubberhead. Goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. Go and blow your inner tube. I got a brand new sugar cube. Goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. I asked my baby nice, please don't flirt around, and don't make eyes to other guys. It makes my poor heart pound. Oh yes, I asked her nice, please don't make me dread. She winked her eye at another guy. When they left, here's what she said. Goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. Go and blow your inner tube. I got a brand new sugar cube. Goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. I phoned my baby twice, say she hurt me bad, and ask her when she's free again to make my poor heart glad. Oh yes, I phoned her twice, and as with her I pled, she left me alone on the buzzing phone with the memory of what she said. Goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. Go and blow your inner tube. I got a brand new sugar cube. Goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. Well, I was feeling a little lonely about then. Well, I took some good advice, and I found me another gal, and to take a walk with her just one block, it sets my heart to whirl. And when we met my ex, boy, did her face turn red. She must have burned at the way I turned my nose up in the air and said, goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. Go and blow your inner tube. I got a brand new sugar cube. Goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. Goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. Go and blow your inner tube. I got a brand new sugar cube. Goodbye, Rubberhead, so long, boob. So long, boob. So long, boob. So long, boob. Boob, 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 boob. Woo!
Well, thank you so much for that, Waxy. Great rendition of that song. I always love what Waxy does with his videos and all the rubber heads and the boobs in there. It's quite funny as well. Well, that brings us to the end of our 108th episode of Tuesday Live, and I hope you enjoyed our Stompin' Tom special. Thanks to everyone who participated in tonight's show. Of course, the great Waxy there. Stan McRae with his fantastic pictures. The Tuesday Live Rec Room renowned cast, Rob Dylan, Neil Old, Robbie O'Spoon, and of course, Cousin Willie Witherspoon. And appreciate everyone who supports the show as a patron, contributing to our virtual tip jar, sharing, liking, commenting, being part of the Tuesday Live audience, dropping in, whatever. Thanks for being here. I quite enjoy doing it. I always, also thanks to my executive producer and partner, Carol, who puts up not only with me all week long, but also Willie, Rob Dylan, Robbie O'Spoon, Neil Old, and occasionally Lazy Horse, and this week's Stompin' Tom. She's a very patient woman. Talented Tuesday Live animation department to put together all our fantastic animations and help with the wall. And speaking of the wall, we're always looking for fresh jokes, birthday, anniversary announcements, stories, poems, pictures, or anything else you'd like to share with us on the wall. Send them in. Next week, we're going to play some music, tell some jokes as we move into what we call birthday month in our family. 3 of the 4 members have birthdays in May, and I'm the odd man out, but I still get to eat lots of cake. Come share the love at the after party on Zoom. Always a welcoming group from across the continent, and we always have lively conversations on a variety of topics. Drop in sometime. The link's in the show notification email, which you get if you sign up at Tuesday Live to our email list. We'd love to have you there. David Hill, who watches the show. Hi, David. I think he's a YouTube watcher and a great student of the game of hockey. Let me know earlier, I guess last week, about we lost one of our great legends of the game, the great Guy Lafleur. I know certainly if you're of a certain age, and I'm certainly from my youth anyways, he was one of the great legends of the game. I remember watching him come up, saw him play with the Quebec Remparts in the old Water Street Arena in Cornwall against the Cornwall Royals, and then watched him as he developed with the Canadians. And after that second season, when he took off his helmet, I'm not sure that was the wisest thing to do, but he seemed to survive it, and became just flying down the line. He was quite a player. And while I was looking at some of the stories about Guy Lafleur this week, there was a great story about Boston Bruin Don Marcotte coming back to the bench after Lafleur had scored yet another goal against him and the Bruins, and Coach Don Cherry yelled at him, "Didn't I tell you to watch Lafleur?" And Marcotte reportedly answered, "I was. Isn't he something?" But anyways, I'm going to dedicate our closing song tonight to the great Guy Lafleur and all the fans of Guy Lafleur and all the great Canadians out there, great Canadian fans and fans of the great game. We're heading into the playoffs here. Unfortunately, the Canadians won't be there, but who knows? Maybe a Canadian team might win the cup this year. Hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. The whistle blows and the tension grows and the puck goes down the ice. Goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game. It's the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is a good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game. It's the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is a good old hockey game. Second period. Where players dance with skates that flash and the home team trails behind. And they grab the puck and go bursting up and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game. It's the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is a good old hockey game. Third period. Last game of the playoffs too. The Leafs gonna be there this year? I don't know. Well, take me where those hockey players face off down the rink. And the Stanley Cup is all filled up for the champs who win the drink. Now a final flick of a hockey stick and one gigantic scream. The puck is in, the home team wins at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game. It's the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is a good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game. It's the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is a good old hockey game. One more time. Oh, the good old hockey game. It's the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Cornway has it on the wing. Here's a shot. Henderson makes a wild stab for it and fell. Here's another shot right in front. They score. Henderson has scored for Canada. Greatest goal